Good evening, I'm Maham Kawa with the news-making headlines around the world. His Highness the Emir patronizes the concluding ceremony to honor the winners at Kuwait Grand Competition for the recitation of the Holy Quran. The National Assembly approves a number of legislations during its regular session, referring them to the government. The US, UK and France are closing their embassies in Yemen due to the deteriorating security situation and political crisis in the country. And at least 20 people are killed in eastern Ukraine as the leaders of Russia, Ukraine, France and Germany prepare for peace talks. In our first item, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, under the patronage of His Highness the Emir Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah, the final ceremony of the 18th Kuwait Major Competition for Quran Memorization and Recitation was held this morning at Bayan Palace Theatre. His Highness the Crown Prince Sheikh Nawaf Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah represented His Highness the Emir in the celebration. He was received at the venue by the Minister of Justice, Minister of Awqaf and Islamic Affairs, Yaqub Abdel Mohsen Al-Sana, Secretary General of the General Secretariat of Awqaf, Dr. Abdel Mohsen Abdullah Al-Khrafi, and members of the Permanent Committee of the Quran Memorization and Recitation Competition. The ceremony was attended by the National Assembly Speaker Marzouk Ali Al-Ghanim, former National Assembly Speaker Jassim Mohammed Al-Khrafi, Sheikhs His Highness Sheikh Nasser Al-Mohammed Al-Ahmed Al-Sabah, His Highness Sheikh Jabir Al-Mubarak Al-Hamad Al-Sabah, the Prime Minister, the First Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister Sheikh Sabah Al-Khalid Al-Hamad Al-Sabah, the Deputy Minister of the Amiri Diwan Affairs Sheikh Ali Jarrah Al-Sabah, and senior state officials. The event began with the national anthem and a recitation from the Holy Quran, followed by a speech given by Minister As-Sana in which he expressed gratitude to His Highness the Emir's representative over his efforts in ensuring the success of the 18th round of the Quranic contest. On his part, Secretary General of the General Secretariat of Awqaf addressed the audience on the importance of the role played by Al-Awqaf in developing civil society, noting that Al-Awqaf is one of the pioneer systems that left a distinctive mark on the manners of Islamic societies. Afterwards, a documentary film on the history of the competition's awards were screened. Then His Highness the Crown Prince distributed the prizes to the winners. A commemorative gift was then presented to His Highness the Emir, received by His Highness the Emir's representative, His Highness the Crown Prince. His Highness the Emir Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah sent a cable of congratulations to His Excellency the President of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Dr. Hassan Rouhani, on the occasion of his country's National Day. His Highness the Crown Prince Sheikh Nawaf Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah sent a cable of congratulations to His Excellency the President of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Dr. Hassan Rouhani, on the occasion of his country's National Day. And His Highness Sheikh Jabir Al-Mubarak Al-Hamad Al-Sabah, the Prime Minister, also sent a similar cable. His Highness the Crown Prince Sheikh Nawaf Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah received this morning at Bayan Palace His Highness Sheikh Jabir Al-Mubarak Al-Hamad Al-Sabah, the Prime Minister. His Highness the Crown Prince then received the First Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister Sheikh Sabah Al-Khalid Al-Hamad Al-Sabah. His Highness the Crown Prince also received the Deputy Premier and Minister of Interior Sheikh Mohammed Al-Khalid Al-Hamad Al-Sabah. His Highness the Crown Prince later received the Deputy Premier and Minister of Defense Sheikh Khalid Al-Jarrah Al-Sabah. His Highness the Crown Prince Sheikh Nawaf Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah received this morning at Bayan Palace the First Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister Sheikh Sabah Al-Khalid Al-Hamad Al-Sabah, along with the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Kingdom of Cambodia, Hor Nam Hong, on the occasion of his visit to the country. His Highness the Crown Prince also received the Ambassador of Malaysia to Kuwait, Dato' Adnan bin Othman, on the end of his tenure. Both meetings were attended by the Undersecretary of His Highness the Crown Prince Diwan for Protocol and Ceremonies Affairs, Sheikh Mbarak Subah al-Salim Mahmoud al-Subah. The National Assembly approved during its regular session today a number of legislations, among them approval of a bill specifying establishment of the family court and referring it to the government. Meanwhile, other issues included approving the GCC trademark law and unifying Gulf state efforts in protecting the ozone layer. The National Assembly also approved draft resolutions or legislations to bolster ties with Cuba, Greece and Lithuania within the field of investment, taxation and finance. Here is more to you in the following report with Salim Al-Kandari.
The National Assembly approved today during its regular session a number of legislations, among them approval of a bill specifying establishment of the family court and referring it to the government. A clarification memorandum included in the Legislative Committee report indicated a necessity of establishing the family court as a separate judicial entity, saying in part that personal status affairs are incompatible with criminal and civil cases, that they shouldn't be judged at a single chamber, also noting sensitive nature of some issues concerning parents and children. The National Assembly approved also legislations concerning the GCC trademark law and unifying Gulf states' efforts in protecting the ozone layer. The National Assembly also approved the draft legislations to bolster ties with Cuba, Greece and Lithuania within the fields of investment, taxation and finance. On the other hand, in regards to the formation of the Municipality Council, the Council referred back the issue to the Public Utility Committee for furthermore studies and reviews. From the National Assembly, this is Salim Al-Kandari reporting for the English News.
The National Assembly Speaker Marzouk Ali Al-Ghanem met today at his office with the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Kingdom of Cambodia, Hor Nam Hong, on the occasion of his visit to the country. Both sides discussed bilateral relations and means of boosting mutual cooperation in all domains and tackled issues of common concern in addition to the latest regional and international developments. His Highness Sheikh Jabal Mbarak Al-Hamad Al-Subah, the Prime Minister, received today at Bayan Palace in the presence of the First Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister Sheikh Subah Al-Khalid Al-Hamad Al-Subah, the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Kingdom of Cambodia, Hor Nam Hong, and his accompanying delegation currently visiting the country. The meeting was attended by the Director of Asia Department at the Foreign Ministry, Ambassador Mohammed Ahmed Al-Rumi, and Kuwait's Ambassador to Cambodia, Dirar Al-Tuwajri. His Highness Sheikh Jabal Mbarak Al-Hamad Al-Subah, the Prime Minister, received today at Bayan Palace head of the Lebanese Press Federation, Aouni Al-Kaki, and his accompanying delegation on the occasion of his visit to the country. The meeting was attended by the Acting Undersecretary of the Ministry of Information, Faisal Al-Mitlaqim. The First Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister Sheikh Subah Al-Khalid Al-Hamad Al-Subah met today with the visiting Cambodian Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Hor Nam Hong, on the occasion of his visit to the country. During the meeting, they discussed joint relations between both countries and ways of strengthening and enhancing the Kuwaiti-Cambodian cooperation in various domains, in addition to tackling several matters of mutual interest. The meeting was attended by the Foreign Undersecretary Khalid Sleiman Al-Jarallah, the Director of Asia Department at the Foreign Ministry, Ambassador Mohammed Ahmed Al-Mijrin Al-Rumi, Director of the First Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister's Office, Ambassador Sheikh Dr. Ahmed Nasser Mohammed Al-Subah, Director of the Undersecretary's Office, Ambassador Ayham Abdel Latif Al-Omar, Deputy Director of the First Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister's Office, Ambassador Saleh Salim Al-Lughani, Kuwait's Ambassador to Cambodia, Dirar Nasser Al-Tuwajri, and several other senior officials of the Ministry of the Foreign Ministry. The first Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister, Sheikh Subah Al-Khalid Al-Hamad Al-Subah, hosted a luncheon today in honor of the Cambodian Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Hor Namhong, and his accompanying delegation on the occasion of his visit to the country. The luncheon was attended by a number of officials from both countries. Celebrating the 60th anniversary of the official Gazette Al Kuwait Al Yom, a grand ceremony was recently organized at the JW Marriott Hotel. The Gazette has become a fundamental part of the country's heritage, providing researchers with accurate and credible information and documents. Hiba Abdurrahman has more in the following report.
Representative of His Highness the Emir and Deputy Minister of the Emir Diwan, Sheikh Ali Al-Jarrah Al-Subah, said that the official Gazette Al Kuwait Al Yom is a landmark in the history of civilization and development of the country. Over the last 6 decades, the Gazette kept an indispensable chronicle of the historical, political, and legal developments in the country. His remarks came during a celebration to mark the 60th anniversary of the Gazette in the presence of a number of cabinet members and sheikhs. Sheikh Ali Al-Jarrah took pride of representing His Highness the Emir, Sheikh Subah Al-Ahmad Al-Jabir Al-Subah, at the celebration sponsored by His Highness Sheikh Jabir Al-Mubarak Al-Hamad Al-Subah, the Prime Minister. He expressed the wish for the Gazette to continue contributing to the progress, development, and stability in Kuwait. Meanwhile, Minister of Information and Minister of State for Youth Affairs, Sheikh Salman Subah Salim Mahmoud Subah, said that the Gazette documented the glorious moments of the beautiful past and the achievements of the ancestors. The celebration took place amid the celebrations to commemorate the country's national days late this month. The 9th anniversary of Assumption of Office by His Highness the Emir on January 29th and His Highness the Crown Prince on February 20th. Sheikh Salman pointed out that the celebrations this year have an additional dimension as they follow the UN honoring of His Highness the Emir as a humanitarian leader and of Kuwait as International Center of Humanitarian Action. The archive of the Gazette provides a rich legal count of the major events that impacted the development of the Kuwaiti society in all domains. On her part, Acting Assistant Undersecretary of the Ministry of Press and Publication Affairs, Lulwa As-Salim, extolled His Highness the Emir for laying the foundation stone of the Gazette 60 years ago. She added that since the issuance of its maiden edition on December 11, 1954, it kept registering the developments in all fields and state institutions, thus becoming an indispensable reference book, noting that the Gazette's popularity kept growing thanks to the utilization of modern information technology. At the directive of the Minister of Information, the Ministry launched the Gazette's website on July 3, 2012, and set up the electronic archive through which researchers can access the previous editions easily. During this celebration, the first additional staff of the Gazette were honored for their role in the issuance of the maiden edition. They include Badr Khalid al-Badr, Yusuf Mishari al-Badr, Talat al-Ghusn, Ahmed Saif Omar, and Fadl Khalaf al-Tilachi. Another celebration coincides with the national celebrations of the State of Kuwait, as we celebrate today the 60th anniversary of the Kuwait Today magazine. From JW Marriott, I am Hiba Abdurrahman reporting for English News.
The US, UK and France said they are closing their embassies in Yemen due to the deteriorating security situation and political crisis in the country. The US and UK governments withdrew diplomatic staff from Sana'a and urged their citizens to leave. France's embassy in the capital announced that it will close on Friday. The move comes as the UN attempts to broker talks between political factions and rebels who control Sana'a and dissolved parliament last week. President Abdelrabu Mansour Hadi and his cabinet resigned on the 22nd of January after the rebels overran the presidential palace and placed them under effective house arrest. Israeli bulldozers demolished Tuesday the house of Al-Abbasi home in Siwan, south of Al-Aqsa Mosque, under the pretext that it was built without permit, while Israeli authorities continue to expand settlements. From Ramallah, Fatma Abdel Karim has the details.
Israeli bulldozers leveled to the ground the house of Al-Abbasi family in Silwan neighborhood, just south of the Holy Aqsa Mosque, claiming it was built without permit. The house is located near an illegal settlement named Bet Yontan, which was built much later than the house. The family was forced into displacement as a result.
The house demolition that happened yesterday had displaced 14 people, including 7 children, that they are from the Abbasi family. In 2014, we have noticed that there were 98 house demolitions in Jerusalem by itself that had displaced 208 people in 1 year.
The planning policies imposed by the Israeli government make it extremely difficult to obtain permits for building and construction by Palestinians. Then, this is used as a legal claim to the property. The most recent report by the United Nations said 590 Palestinian-owned structures in areas under Israeli control and East Jerusalem were demolished, displacing nearly 1,200 persons, including women and children, while the construction in Jewish-only settlements continues to rise significantly.
Despite all the Israeli measures since 1967, Palestinians are still steadfast in Jerusalem. The Israelis are trying to force Palestinians out of the city by demolishing their houses. This was practiced in the Middle Ages and is now practiced by Israel in Jerusalem.
Palestinians are now accusing the Israeli politicians of using them to fuel up their electoral campaigns ahead of the coming elections next March, and therefore expect a rise in demolitions and the isolation of Jerusalem. Fatma Abdul Karim, Kuwait TV, Ramallah, Palestine.
More than 20 people died in violence in eastern Ukraine as the leaders of Russia, Ukraine, France and Germany prepare for peace talks. 19 Ukrainian soldiers were killed, many in a town that pro-Russian rebels say they have surrounded. 5 people were reported killed by shelling in rebel-held Donetsk. The talks in the Belarusian capital Minsk are set to focus on securing a ceasefire, withdrawal of heavy weapons and creating a demilitarized zone. But negotiators are still trying to narrow differences ahead of the summit to be attended by Russia's President Vladimir Putin and Ukraine's President Petro Poroshenko, as well as François Hollande of France and Germany's Angela Merkel. And moving to the local financial news, where the 3 main indices of Kuwait Stock Exchange ended trading today on a red board, with the price index losing 32.39 points to reach 6,702.62 points. The KSX 15 index also lost 2.35 points and settled at the level of 1,092.23 points. The weight index fell by 1.66 points to close at 448.64 points. And in our final item tonight, 12 of Canada's elite universities recently visited Kuwait, where they held an information session on Canada as a destination for higher education. The group's visit to Kuwait is part of a larger initiative which will take them to Jordan, Qatar, Oman and the United Arab Emirates. The tour has been organized by the Canadian Higher Education Committee under the aegis of a Council of International Schools. It is the Council's 12th consecutive Canadian tour to visit Kuwait. Our reporter Rinwa Jabouri was there and has the details.
Education throughout Canada is known for its supreme quality. Canadian universities enjoy a solid reputation for being one of the leaders in higher education, offering students a multitude of opportunities from the great living standards Canada has to offer to the cutting-edge research, state-of-the-art campuses.
Canada has about 90 universities, and what makes us a little bit unique is where our country. We're such a multicultural country. We have universities that are located in very large cities, as we have universities that are located in more remote communities. So our country is also bilingual. So if you want to conduct studies in French, it's possible in Quebec. It's even possible in Ottawa as well, in Ontario. It's the diversity of our country and the fact that, we offer such a vast array of programs all across Canada.
The enthusiasm shown by international students for post-secondary studies in Canada gives testimony to the superior quality of the Canadian education system.
Canadian school is one of the best. In terms of university, we had a lot of ranking university in our lists, and regarding to National Bureau for Academic Accreditation and Quality Assurance, really, the Canadian schools offer that. Our student is our investment, and we having almost more than 600 students as a scholarship in Canadian universities.
Sure. So I think one thing that we all have to offer is a very well-rounded experience for students. We tend to take very good care of our students, international specifically, when they arrive, because we have a very high-quality student services which we offer at each of our institutions.
Undergraduate education in Canada is a hybrid of US and UK styles, offering breadth of program options, flexibility in choice, and a degree that is recognized worldwide.
Some of Canada's best universities visited Kuwait today to answer some of the questions that students may have related to higher education in Canada. From the Sheraton Hotel, I'm Gemma Jaburi reporting to you for the English News.
For a chance to see our reports again, please visit our YouTube channel at MOI Kuwait News. Well, with that, we conclude our news bulletin. Thank you for joining us. Have a pleasant time. I'm Maham Tawa. Before we go, we remind you once again of our main top stories. Have a pleasant time and good night. His Highness the Emir patronizes the concluding ceremony to honor the winners at Kuwait Grand Competition for the recitation of the Holy Quran. The National Assembly approves a number of legislations during its regular session, referring them to the government. The US, the UK and France are closing their embassies in Yemen due to the deteriorating security situation and political crisis in the country. And at least 20 people are killed in eastern Ukraine as the leaders of Russia, Ukraine, France and Germany prepare for peace talks.